Hello everyone, it's Joker Juice here, and today we are going to do a run that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I've been too lazy to even start trying to get footage, but here is my first episode. So, obviously, this is me, just started editing, so that's gonna be great. I know editing me later will be really, really excited for what comes later, and you should be excited too. Anyway, this is a very simple challenge. There's not many rules, but obviously it's dagger only, so I can't use spells, and I can only use shouts when necessary. Basically, if anything is necessary, then I'm gonna have to do it. I can use companions and all that. I can use different kinds of daggers. I'm not just prone to one dagger. But anyway, the run's about to start, so thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
Anyone else feel like running?
So this run started like any other run, character customization. Uh, I went back and watched a reference video, and someone picked an orc for the Berserker Rage. I picked a Nord because that's usually what I pick, and that's just what I'm used to, and I like the customization options for the Nords. So, but that I really screwed myself over by not picking an orc because of the Berserker Rage. But I mean, it's too late now, and we're about to get right into it. So here is the finished Ghostface 2.0, and before you know it, we see beheading, and then the dragon decides to show up and save my ass before I get an ass whooping. So as you can tell, this starts just like it usually does. We can't really start the run until we have a dagger. So right now I'm pretty much defenseless to anything that I would have to fight against, but luckily there's nothing we have to fight against in the beginning section, so I actually am pretty saved there. Before anything even started, we grieved Gunyir's body, got uncut, and then I sat here for like 5 minutes waiting for Rayloff to kill two Imperial guards. Really, really interesting stuff. I know. It's very, very interesting. After 3 years, he finally killed the guard, and I got my weapon of choice. So now the run has actually officially started. So begin the run, I decide to test my new dagger on two totally unsuspecting foes, which, as you can tell, is not going so well, but it's going better than expected, considering I'm wielding a dagger and they're wielding a whole, a whole sword. So I get swiftly done with this one guy, knock him out on his feet. The other guy didn't really like that so much, so he decided to retaliate, and as you can tell, retaliating kind of cost him his life. So, and for my next magic trick, I decide to invade a weird BDSM chamber that is currently, in use. And as you can tell, I also decide to wail on these two guys. And if you haven't noticed by now, the knife isn't really the best melee weapon by any means. So, but we swiftly deal with them, and then I crush the balls with maybe a few more locks than I should have with my next little few magic tricks here. I also try to pull a disappearing act on like the only smart guard here, but as you can tell, that doesn't really go well for me or him actually. So, and then his buddy decides to gangbang me too, so that's fun. So obviously I try sneaking past the spiders, and that doesn't really go well for me, so I literally just sprint past to the end. That's usually what I do anyway, even on normal runs, not because I don't like fighting enemies, it's just, I don't know, it's just a waste of time for me. I even wake up the bear on my way there, and then Skyrim just beckons me over here, so the second I got a Helgen, me and Rayloff watched a dragon disappear into the mountains over there. And then out of nowhere, three wolves just decided to ambush a retard with a knife. So that's on them. And then we discovered Riverwood. And then just like any other run, I offloaded all my problems onto every merchant. I sold every item that I didn't need because I'm not going to need magical potions. I'm not going to need weapons at all. But then I discovered my baby right here. My new weapon. And then I went to buy some food from Orgnar, which I was kind of being a cheap ass, and I was very picky on what I bought because I only had 632 gold. So I mean, a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. I have a budget to stick to. This Dragonborn ain't making money yet, you know. So, I went to go see if my faithful friend Alvor was selling any daggers. But he had a steel dagger, but I don't need a steel dagger. Anyway, on my way to Whiterun, I had a little talk with the companions. I stole a whole butt ton of crops that I probably didn't need to. And on my way to Whiterun, instead of just stealing only crops, I went to the barrels and stole their food too. This is where I allocate my first point to stamina in the run. And then I go over to one-handed and add my first perk point to that. After a bunch of meandering around with every merchant in the city, I go and actually make my way up to Dragon's Reach, where I get my next objective to retrieve the Dragonstone on Bleak Falls Barrow. And this is the part where I inevitably distract myself from the main quest and start doing side quests to level up and get XP and all that. Which there we find the Armin's family sword inside of White River Watch. After a long walk, I finally get where I need to be, and I show him the true power of my 6 damage steel dagger. And here's the next enemy right here.
Who's there? Rodolphe? That you?
After being surprised to the blind man, I have a short little conversation with him. And then I go to look at the book that he's reading, realizing that he can't read. I then get into a brawl with all the preceding people in the back of the area. And I was really, I don't know. But, you know, since I didn't want to use any of my healing items, I downed like probably a metric ton of food. Which I don't know how people don't question that. I just like down like 30 carrots and 30 apples and 30 cabbages, and they just like don't bat an eye. But anyway, I got through that encounter pretty untouched, as you can tell. I then also proceeded to wail on these two, and I don't know how this thing even kills people that fast, but okay. I then dealt with the 2 final enemies in this area very accordingly. As you can tell, that guy got a little fucked up, but that's okay. I then proceeded to try to flex my novice lockpicking muscles, which obviously I win, but that's not saying much.
Huh? Time to die, hero!
Holy crap, you do a lot of damage.
Okay. Time to eat 20 weeks.
So this is obviously where we hit the first snag in the run, because this guy just would not be beaten, and I'm basically using a glorified metal rod to hit him. And as you could tell from the gameplay here, I proceeded to die 3 times to the guy. 3 times! Oh god. Just when I was starting to lose all hope in this part of the run, I was literally about to give up on his family heirloom. I did not care. I would show no remorse. But in a flash of a moment, I think I found a tactic that finally worked for me. Basically what I would do is I'd go enough distance away from him, he'd pull out his bow, I'd run up to him, and I'd just wail on him, I'd just unleash all of it on him. Then he'd pull out his axe and I'd run away again and do the same thing. And I used a lot of healing items during this, as you can see. But after a long time, I finally got the kill! After finally taking ages to kill that one guy, we got what we finally came for. We got all the loot. I mean, job well done, I guess. But the cream of the crop was this little thing right here. So once I got back in the Whiterun, I put more stats into health, and then I went to my one-handed stuff and added more damage, because my thing right now is like a twig. I then proceeded to loot barrels like a homeless man. So now with that really long, tedious quest done, I was on my way to find Amrin and give him his sword back because he asked me to get it in the first place, and I just wanted to get it done and over with. I'm just trying to get XP for this. You know how it is. Obviously I took a little detours here and there. I couldn't find him at first, but then his marker showed that he's down there, so obviously I went to talk to him. And he did something that's actually very useful to me. When I got done talking to him, he actually increased my one-handed skill, which will help me a lot. And then I returned to Mr. Evanici to offload a lot more of my items I needed to sell. Right now I'm just trying to get the most amount of gold that I can so I can, you know, buy upgrades, buy better gear, buy food. I'm going to need a lot of food for what I'm going to do. Potions, I need to buy more potions too, which is something you don't really see me focusing on right now, but I will focus on later down. So get ready for me to actually wisen up and realize I need to do something that I haven't been doing this entire time. So just like how I avoided doing stuff on the main quest, I had to take my little detours and go into other people's house and possibly repossess their items in my inventory. And there wasn't really that much that I ransacked from here, so it's a victimless crime because there wasn't much to steal anyway. I mean, I know that won't hold up in the court of law, but who says I'm getting caught? I mean, this is a little incriminating, but still. Then, just like earlier, I just steal a whole bunch of food from every place that I can because I'm homeless and I'm pretty poor. So as you can tell, I fast traveled to Helgen to get closer to Bleak Falls Barrow because I'm gonna go and try to get the Dragon Stone so I can at least kind of further progress the main story. I mean, I'm still getting distracted a lot, but I'm having fun with it, so I really don't care. I just keep on walking up to the pathway until I see two innocent little bunnies. Until I saw two innocent little bunnies. And I walked back up to the path, and then I noticed I walked right into a little bandit camp. But don't worry, your boy can handle it. I don't have no trouble with it, and I clear them too. I kind of like the cinematics that they do, so it's cool. Now that I finally reached Bleak Falls Barrow, I decide that I'm not gonna fight all the enemies, and I just sprint past all of them to the main door because I remember making the mistake on stream of trying to fight them and I kept on dying, and I was not repeating my stream. So while I was walking in, I decided to dispatch of the two people that were arguing there apparently. So once again, I decided to flex my little lockpicking muscles, and I just get some minor loot from it. But hey, that's okay. Okay, so we're just making our way down there. This guy gets heckin' game ended. Alright, so I don't want to end up like that guy. He literally could just looked at this, so it's snake, snake, whale again, so... snake, snake, and then whale. So after opening the door and solving that really basic Child's Play puzzle, I got a few items. I got a potion, as you can see here, pickpocket increase, which will help me later down the road. I promise you that. I made it down these stairs, and I kept on walking down all these corridors. No Dagger yet, which is very surprising. But then I see the most daunting final boss.
Luckily, I'm doing a little bit of damage to him. As long as he doesn't poison me, I'll be okay.
I know he's
Coming
gonna.
loose. I can feel it.
I know he was gonna try duping me, so I'm just gonna stop him before he can dupe me. So basically here I failed at stealth and I just tried to push my way past all the Draugr, which I still technically did, but not in the way I intended. But I mean, task failed successfully. I took a lot of damage here, but I mean, it's me. What do you expect? I'm stupid, I'm slow, I'm retarded, whatever you want to call me. This Draugr did not want to die without a fight, so I gave it to him, and gave it to him I did. One Draugr on. I tried to evade this Draugr just like my taxes, but that didn't work out either, apparently. Apparently everyone wanted a piece because he would not let me go either. And you could tell he was giving me an ass whooping, so... There we go. First I'm going to use my next accrued point towards health, and I'm going to upgrade the fighting stance perk, because that's going to help me a lot when I swing with a lot of stamina. As you can tell, I'm going to spend a lot of this healing with food items. So now I go to the next elementary puzzle, which I struggled with the first time I played Skyrim on my PS3, but we go through it pretty fast here. All you have to do is look at the claw, and it has all of the symbols that you need on it, so you just input them here. I mean, it's a pretty simple thing, but we're on our way to fight the Draugr Overlord and get our first word of power. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now. We're close to getting the Dragon Stone. We're almost out. I'm almost out of Bleak Falls Barrow, and then I need to go back to the Jarl and return it. Obviously, you can see me running gleefully towards the first word of power, like an addict looking at the first crack pipe they left on the floor. So, with the first word of power obtained, we can now start wailing on the Draugr Overlord, which you can see me doing right here, right now. It's not as entertaining as it seems. I'm literally just like using a metal stick to hit him, basically. Bam! Bitch went down. It worked. So with having the Dragonstone back in my possession, I head towards Dragon Reach, obviously, and I hand it back to Farengar. Hello, you beautiful people. I am proud to present to you my, not really magnum opus, but my magnum opus. We'll just go with that. I started editing this at 8 in the morning, and it is 2:21 right now in the afternoon. So, but I just want to say I love you guys, and I thank you so much for all of this and giving me the opportunity to do what I do and giving me the motivation to do what I do. And I have a very special someone in my life. I would like to shout them out, but I don't know if they want their name here. But you know who you are, and I love you so much. And I really appreciate you supporting me through all of this, and especially with my dream of this. I really love you, and I hope you watch this. If you don't, this is gonna be really awkward. But anyway, there will be this is gonna be a series. It's gonna take a while for it to come out. Obviously, this took me like almost half my day to release, so and edit and all that. I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video.